What's up, internet? My name is Kayla. Welcome back to my channel, and today we're gonna get a little nerdy. Yes, I am going with the nerd stereotype by wearing fake glasses, but you know what? I'm gonna have fun doing this video. Today we are starting a new series inspired by Jen Love's reviews when she does those crazy in-depth makeup reviews where she lists out all the ingredients and talks about them in those makeup products. Do you remember watching her Halo Beauty review and the in-depth of those ingredients? Oh my goodness, all the work she put into those videos. I'm gonna have them linked down below. You're gonna need a blanket and some popcorn when you go watch those videos, but they are so informative. She is the reason why I am doing this video series in the first place. I was so inspired by them. And so this series is called What's in My Makeup, and guess what? We are literally going to be talking about what's in makeup products. So if you want to see what I'm going to be talking about, if you want to learn a little bit of something today, ingredients that we're going to be talking about are talc and mica. Usually I'm going to have a video dedicated to each ingredient, but these ingredients really go hand in hand, so I'm covering them in one video. And the first one I'm talking is going to go into talc, because talc is the one that has the drama. But what is talc? Talc is just a naturally occurring ingredient found, or mineral found in the earth. It is used in makeup products. Like if you're making a cake, the biggest amount of product you're going to have in your cake is flour. That's pretty much what talc is in a lot of products. It's going to be one of the first ingredients you see on a list, just because that's what the most is. And an ingredients list, the products listed first are what's mostly in the product, and go less down the list, it's when the products are seen used less and less. What talc does specifically, it's used to absorb moisture. It decreases the amount of friction, it helps prevent caking, and it can make the makeup feel opaque, and overall it's just going to improve the feel of a product. Not only is talc found in cosmetics, but it's also just found in a lot of like body and skincare. You can find it in baby powder, you can see it in face powders, and it's also in a lot of consumable products outside of the cosmetic industry. Why are people nervous about talc? Asbestos. If you hear about talc in like the news, it's usually like, does talc cause like ovarian cancer or lung cancer? And when talc is mentioned in these situations, it's because of asbestos. Asbestos can be found in talc when you're mining it, and that is what can be shown the links to the cancer. If it is not purified talc and you somehow get it into your ovaries via like baby powder or sanitary wipes or even a condom, if it gets into your system, that's where problems may occur. Again, for miners who are actually mining this, like when they go into those mines, they don't know, like there might be some parts of the mine where the talc is like free of asbestos. There will be places where there's covered in asbestos. There might be places mixed in. Like there's no way to really tell when you're mining the stuff. So where the issue comes for lung cancer is for miners who might accidentally inhale it. But does like the asbestos and everything cause cancer? Well, science says maybe. The problem with this kind of research is that it's mixed, and it's also it's hard to really dial it down to being like, okay, was talc really the thing that caused ovarian cancer? Some of these studies, your scientists are basing it off of, okay, they'll go to women and be like, okay, you had ovarian cancer, like, and they're talking to them like years later, trying to have them remember what things they were using, and they might have bias, being like, oh yeah, it was definitely because of all the baby powder I used. That's definitely the reason why, where it could have been a lot of other different factors. You know, cancer just doesn't say I'm going to be found only in this one thing, and that's how you're going to get it. You know, there are genetic dispositions to people getting cancer. There's just too many things going wrong around to have a really like solid conclusion on whether or not talc causes ovarian cancer. Some studies show like a slightly elevated risk, while some studies show no risk at all. And again, it just has to do with the bias and kind of like, can they really narrow out that this one mineral caused the cancer? In lung cancer studies, it has a bit more success. They have noticed that there is, or maybe even suggested, an increased risk of lung cancer. But it goes back to the fact that it's complicated. When miners are in the mine, it's like you don't know exactly the amount of asbestos from like one wall of the mine to another. So is it really that? I mean, there is an increased risk of that, they know for sure, but miners can also be exposed to other substances that could also affect or increase the risk of lung cancer, such as radon. I didn't look up what radon was before I started filming this video, so I'm going to have a description of what it is below me. I know it's getting dark a little bit. I might have to bring out my light. I wasn't hoping I wouldn't have to, but with this in mind, there's no concluding evidence that talc does cause ovarian cancer, whereas miners there could be a slight increase if you are mining and you inhale the talc. So that then brings up the question, does cosmetic grade talc have asbestos fibers? And the answer is no, because there is a purifying process of talc, and there are ways to make sure that it does not have asbestos in it, and that can be confirmed by X-ray, diffraction, and optical and electron microscopy. In addition, producers of cosmetic grade talc have established purity specifications to assure it does not contain residue of asbestos. And the FDA does have a survey of talc used in cosmetics, and I do have that survey linked down below, as well as all of the articles and everything I used to research for this video as well. Now, let's talk about mica. Mica is really fun. Mica doesn't have a lot of drama. Mica is fun because in Latin, it comes from the word mica, which means glitter. Mica is the stuff that makes your product shimmery. It adds life and illumination back to your mattifying face products. If you see illuminating, shimmering kind of words in branding or marketing of products, it's probably because of the mica in it. Mica is another naturally occurring mineral, and it's often used in makeup like foundations, eyeshadows, face powders. If you are looking at the ingredients label, like talc, it's just going to say talc on the ingredients label, but mica can also be listed as muscovite, which I will have the word popped up here, because if you know anything about me and my channel, you know that I can't enunciate. Even so, with mica, it can make even your most cakiest face feel more natural. That's why it's, aside for just making things look really shimmery and pretty, it actually does have a more like important use, is to really create a more natural appearing look, even though you have 10 gallons of makeup on your face. So going along with mica in its like natural form, it's actually mined. I think this is cool for me, but I also like rocks and like minerals and stuff like this, but it's actually mined in thin sheets, and it's usually found as blue or green, but when you add iron oxide to it, it can make it different colors, like really bright and crazy cool colors, which I think is really interesting. And so what are these products found in? Talc is found in a lot. Talc is found in a lot. Mica is found in a lot. Just going off of products that strictly have talc, for this part of the video, I was not looking at every product at Sephora and Ulta, but I was specifically looking only at those two websites, pulling as many ingredients up, pulling as many products as I could without going crazy. So I didn't look at everything. This is just a general overview. But the one product that I found that had just talc in it is the Physicians Formula Mineral Powder. Yeah, their mineral face powder. That was the only thing I saw that did not have mica in it. It was just talc. Okay, so products that just have mica and no talc in it are the Anastasia Beverly Hills Soft Glam Palette, Modern Renaissance, and Norvina Palette. It is only just in the Huda Beauty Rose Gold Remastered Eyeshadow Palette. Speaking of some drama, that remastered palette, that was That was some good old drama back in the day. Some other products that is just mica is found in. When I was doing this research, I was thinking that these are just both powders found in powder products. I saw the illuminating thing and I was like, oh, maybe it isn't like liquid based products. So I started looking into concealers. This is, again, it's just a short list of them, but I found mica in the NARS Radiant Creaming Concealer, 2 Bare Minerals concealers, their concealer broad spectrum, and their well rested eye brightener. There is a Lancome concealer, the first word I can't pronounce, but it's the waterproof protective under eye concealer. But in this concealer, it is the very last ingredient, so it is the least amount of product used in the concealer. It's in the Maybelline Fit Me concealer. Some of the shades have mica, some of them don't. Ulta's website doesn't specify which shades don't have it. Flower Beauty Light Illusion Full Coverage Concealer has mica, and then the last one I saw was the Under Eye Brightening Corrector. It's the cream pot, and it is towards the lower end of the list. This is not a full list. Again, mica is not found in every concealer, any foundation. Did I mention that it's in the Milani Conceal and Perfect 2-in-1 Foundation Concealer? It is in that one, but that is just some ideas, because those do kind of really advertise as the illuminating. Actually, the Fit Me Milani one don't. But I found this was interesting, so I hope you did too. Now, let's talk about products that have both. Yeah. For some reason, I was only looking at eyeshadow palettes for this. I don't know why. Why didn't I also look at bronzers, blushes, and highlights? Maybe that can be your homework. See what products have both if you're really curious. So, I'm not going to read everything on this list. I had to stop. I mean, there was just so many. But a short list of products that have both talc and mica on it is the Urban Decay Cosmetics Naked Ultimate Basics palette, and then just their basic Naked palette, Rest in Peace OG, the Too Faced Natural Eyes palette, the BH Cosmetics Zodiac palette, the Anastasia Beverly Hills Subculture palette, Marc Jacobs Beauty, the iconic multi-finish eyeshadow palette, that Coconut Fantasy collection. That was an obscure one I pointed out. Another Lancome Color Design eyeshadow palette. I specifically noted that talc was the first ingredient and that mica is the last. Tardis Pro Amazonian Clay palette. MAC has this warm eyeshadow palette that just calls it warm. The Morphe Jaclyn Hill palette has talc and mica in it. Storybook Cosmetics, the Wizarding and Witchcraft eyeshadow palette, like the Harry Potter one that I don't think they actually got permission from Harry Potter to do that. I think there was some drama with Storybook Cosmetics. Anyways, ColourPop Dream Street palette with Kathleen Light, the Sure Glow Kiss by ABH, the Becca and Chrissy Teigen Glow Face palette, Natasha Denona palette. It's a lot. There are a lot of products, which is why I really wanted to start this What's in My Makeup series with these 2 ingredients. So, in conclusion, talc and mica are safe. Absolutely, use caution, do your own research. If there is a history of ovarian cancer or lung cancer in your family, you might want to do a little bit more research into talc. But overall, you should feel comfortable having these products, these ingredients in your beauty products. There is a lot. I know the FDA doesn't have the greatest in terms of specifications and restrictions and testing on what goes into products in the cosmetic industry, but they still have some solid ones. So they're not the greatest, but they are still there, and I feel like you should be able to at least comfortably trust the FDA on these 2 matters. Granted, FDA, it's a government agency, it can't be wrong, it definitely could, but there's no reason to be alarmed about seeing any of these unless you have a specific reaction to talc, which hopefully you don't, because it's in a lot of products. I just want to thank you guys for stopping by my channel and watching this video. If you enjoy the What's Up in Makeup series and you want to see more, let me know what ingredients you want to see next. I am going to hopefully doing this series a lot more often since I finally sat down and filmed this one. I'm sure more will be on the way. It's by no means, it's not going to be a weekly series. I'll just let you know, but maybe once a month you'll see this video pop up. But do me a favor and subscribe to my channel. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter. I am Kayla Hayes with a Z and a C, because my mom screwed up the spelling of my name. Thank you, Mother. I love you. But again, with all that said, thank you guys so much for stopping by my channel. I hope to see you on my next video. Have joy!